Good afternoon. Thank you for joining NTTV News at Noon. I'm Cameron Shields. In a critical day for the Middle East, Hamas released the 20 living Israeli hostages it still held, and Israel released nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners under a breakthrough Gaza ceasefire deal. U.S. President Donald Trump, whose administration brokered the deal, made a whirlwind visit to the region, first to Israel, where he witnessed the parliament and to repeated applause. He landed Monday afternoon in Egypt for the Summit of Peace, where world leaders are to discuss the ceasefire plan. Humanitarian organizations have said they're preparing to surge aid into the Gaza Strip, especially food that's been in short supply in many areas. That included some 400 trucks from Egypt on Sunday that will have to undergo Israeli inspection before being distributed in the Strip. The Israeli defense body in charge of humanitarian aid in Gaza said around 600 trucks of aid per day will be entering soon under the ceasefire agreement. Federal investigators are headed to Fort Worth today to look for the cause of a deadly plane crash. It was caught on video, and we want to warn you, some may find it disturbing. 2 people died when the small plane crashed yesterday morning near Hicks Airfield. That's about 30 miles southwest from the UNT campus. Surveillance video from a nearby business captured the incident. It's not clear where the flight originated from or where the small plane was going. Explosives company Accurate Energetic Systems in McEwen, Tennessee suffered a massive explosion on Friday. 16 employees have been pronounced dead, and a rally was held by friends and families of the victim. Here's Hope Salmon with the story.
The only way that some of us are still holding on is through our relationships with each other.
John Niner tells me he was close to one of the men who lost his life in Friday's explosion. John says the victim had counseled him at a nearby church in Waverly.
Or every month that we had our men's ministry cook breakfast for everybody, he'd come up on the center and spend time with the guys.
Many coworkers of the 16 victims were in the crowd tonight, but employees at Accurate Energetic Systems told me it was too soon to speak on camera, saying they're still in shock. Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis says Humphreys and Hickman counties are working on ways to support the families now facing incredible trauma, providing counseling and food.
In the days to come, there's going to be a lot of grief. The true strength of our county, and I've always said it since day one, is our people.
Officials have not yet publicly shared the names of all of the victims, but say all the families have been notified. This is a close-knit community, and many say they know at least one person killed in the tragedy. For now, they're leaning on each other for support.
80 employees worked at Accurate Energetic Systems, but it is unknown the amount working at the time of the explosion. Law enforcement agencies are working hard to figure out exactly what happened. On a lighter note, for our first look at weather, today we have another hot one. It's currently 84 degrees, but it feels like 85 with wind speeds of 11 miles per hour. I know we're all tired of this heat, but Texas has to give up soon, so don't sell your coats yet. Tonight it's going to be an almost great 74, but it's going to feel like 73 as that temperature drops into the high 60s in the early hours of tomorrow morning. As that fall weather slowly works its way in, wind speeds for tonight will be at about 6 miles per hour. Then tomorrow we'll go right back into the 80s at 87 degrees, but it's going to feel like 89 with wind blowing at about 8 miles per hour. That's all for our first look at weather. Stay tuned for our full weather with Michaela Dixon, and Matu Longo shows us how traffic and roads are finally under control here at Union Circle.
Hey. What's up?
Nothing much. I'm really bored. I feel like there's nothing to do.
Are you kidding? The MRTS picture show is happening.
The MRTS what?
Come with me.
Okay.
It's a series of free film screenings right here on campus. And there's free popcorn.
Nice. Thank you.
I wonder what's on the radio today. I don't know about this. This is not it.
Everything alternative, commercial free. 88.1 Indy.
Here at KNTU, we have 2 traditional stations, 88.1 Indy and KNTU Jazz. We've also recently launched an internet radio station called Mean Green Hits. If you want to hear more, you can check us out at medianorthtexas.com.
That was pretty good.
In recent years, many people have started to replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day to recognize Native Americans and acknowledge their contributions. In spite of this, President Trump has issued a proclamation late Thursday night declaring today as Columbus Day. Trump stated that the reason of the proclamation is to reclaim the famed explorer's, quote, extraordinary legacy of faith, courage, perseverance, and virtue. Although Trump's statement did not mention Indigenous Peoples Day, he did accuse left-wing arsonists of trying to destroy Columbus's name and dishonor his memory. Following Abbott's call to remove political ideologies from streets, supporters gather against Pride crosswalks removal in Houston, Texas. More with the story is CNN reporter Michelle Choi.
Flags waving, cars honking. This was the scene Saturday morning at the Pride crosswalks at Westheimer and Taft.
It feels good, and then as you can hear, there's supporters who are driving by, so it feels like we are seen and we are welcome.
Carrie Ann Morrison is president of Pride Houston 365 and organized the gathering.
What message did you want to get across by gathering today?
We're not going to stop. There is absolutely nothing that you can do to erase my pride, to erase my community pride.
The gathering comes just days after Governor Greg Abbott directed transportation officials to ensure cities and counties remove what he calls political ideologies from roadways, citing federal and state safety standards. The order mirrors a federal letter from July urging governors to keep intersections and crosswalks free of political or artistic markings. Metro confirmed this intersection is currently the only location it's working on to comply. Morrison says these crosswalks represent far more than just paint on pavement.
It means that you have a home. It means that you can find friendship. It means that we are visible. It means that we are seen.
She's now hoping to rally support to keep their message alive. Jack Walensky feels the same, a 30-year Montrose resident and president of the near-town Montrose Super Neighborhood. We first met Jack earlier this week.
You're back here today. Tell me why it was important for you to partake in this gathering.
It's nice to see our community out here. It's nice to see our community voicing what they want. This crossing is like a small part of what our community, but it's a symbol. It's a symbol of unity.
And for resident Luke Carroll, who says he grew up in a conservative Texas town, the crosswalks represent something personal.
The first time I saw this Pride crosswalk coming into Montrose, my very first time, I just started bawling because I figured out there were people who existed who were like me.
Many here are telling me that's what it's all about, being seen and not backing down.
We will fight, whether that is gatherings like this, the parade, or going to City Hall and making sure that our voice are heard, but we will never stop.
Today is a great day for UNT, as believe it or not, the construction on Union Circle has been completed. Now, this is a story that we need to see to believe. Our live shot anchor, Matu Longo, is there right now to show us and talk about some new changes. Matu?
Thank you, Cameron Shields. As most of us know, all over summer, the Union Circle was closed, falling into this semester. Originally, roads were said to be closed all over this semester, but construction was reconciled and fixed today. We made it open for everybody. Something very important to note is that the direction of street changed. Now, street flows Chestnut to Prairie. Additionally, parking was being added as long the streets lasted. But the bus will remain Highland Street until January. That's all I have, folks. Back to you to Chase Shields at the decks.
Thanks so much, Matu. Now that all that construction is finished up, the only thing I'm waiting on is some good weather. Let's send it to our weather anchor, Michaela Dixon, to see if we're in luck this week. Michaela?
Thank you, guys. So for the weather across North Texas right now, we are having high 80s and 90s, starting over here with Paris at 89, Sulphur at 90, Sherman at 89, McKinney also at 89, us over here at Denton with 90, Gainesville at 89, and then over here at Graham, we are also at 91 degrees, and then Stephenville down there at 88 degrees. And then for our across the state map, we are also looking at pretty decent temperatures. Amarillo is going to be at 69 degrees. Oklahoma City over here is at 74. We're still at 90. Shreveport at 90. Houston at 88. And then Austin over here at 91. And then for our 7-day look, we are looking for 80s across the whole board, but getting to that nighttime, we are dropping temperatures with 60s and 50s. But getting to Saturday, we are having a slight chance of rain, 40% chance, but the remaining of the week will also be in the high 80s and low temperatures at nighttime. And that is all from me. Thank you guys, and back to you, Cameron, at the desk.
Thanks so much, Michaela. It looks like Texas is still hanging on to that heat a little bit. Up next, how climate change is reaching new levels of concern and how some celebrities are working together to solidify your right to free speech. Don't go away.
Looking to open a free checking or savings account but don't know where to start? Check out DATQ Credit Union right here on campus. Get your Mean Green debit card instantly or apply for a DATQ Visa credit card today. Your school, your card. Plus, make deposits at their 24/7 ATM, checks or cash whenever you need it. Make sure to sign up for DATQ's online banking platform and mobile app for easy access anytime, anywhere. Visit them at www.datq.org to learn more. DATQ, the official financial institution of UNT Athletics.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have.
Are you looking for a fun club with travel opportunities? Dive into the UNT Swim Club. Practicing Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Pool Recreation Center. We accept members at any skill level. For more information, reach out to us at unt.swimclub on Instagram.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike! My bike is gone!
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
Troubling new sign that the planet has reached its first tipping point in the fight against climate change. Scientists say the widespread death of coral reefs has gotten to a point that cannot be reversed. Coral reefs are an essential habitat for marine species, and they protect coastal areas from storms and play a big part in the global economy. But as oceans reach record high temperatures, 80% of the world's reefs are now considered dead. Experts say this is the first of several climate tipping points that may be irreversible, and they note that even worse impacts will come soon if temperatures continue to rise. If you know someone looking to further their education, maybe here at UNT, they'll have a great opportunity this week. From October 13th today through the 19th, Texas residents can apply to any public Texas university at no cost. The Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board encourages applicants to check with their desired school's registrar's office to determine eligibility. The application window opens this morning and closes 11:59 the following Sunday, so keep your wallet in your pocket and don't miss out. Saving money is a great way to relieve stress, and our Denton on a Dime anchor, Sydney Fleming, has the perfect spot where the products are great and the company is even better.
Tucked away in its own cozy corner by the square, creatives of all kinds gather for a taste of whimsy throughout the week.
Two women have owned this for 31 years, and when I'm at work, I'm big on customer service. I've made friends with a lot of the customers that have come in, and I just sell everything. I love putting the outfits together and doing a lot with the clothes and adding jewelry and everything to that, so that's fun.
If you want actual scaly friends, you go to the zoo. But if you're searching for a charming shop with a heartwarming start, you head to Sleeping Lizards.
Started out as they were just selling a few things they had, and then it just evolved into a business, a small business, and then it got bigger and bigger, and so it's done really well. You may already know that we got several Best of Denton awards.
But among their success and popularity, it is their humility that keeps this adorable shop great.
Kind. It's very warm when you come in. Everyone is kind. And then if you like metaphysical stuff, if you love dream catchers, but also just like supplies to, if you have your own small business, it's really good. That's what I used to come in here for all the time. I used to make my own jewelry, so if you want to make your own jewelry, have your own small business, this is a place to get supplies. It's just way more affordable than going online and ordering stuff, but it's just a little bit of everything for everyone, honestly, because there's all kinds of different stuff here.
It's hard to come in here and not find something that you need to buy. Price points are from 25-cent rings up to things that are much more expensive, but there's a little something for everybody that I think they can afford.
From NTTV News, I'm Sydney Fleming.
Thanks so much, Sydney. Some celebrities have relaunched a committee to protect yours and their rights to free speech. Michaela Dixon has more. Take it away, Michaela.
Over 550 celebrities relaunched the Committee for the First Amendment, wanting their free speech back, after several public figures have been silenced for their criticism of the U.S. government. The committee originally began during the MacArthur era in the 1950s, when the federal government ruined careers by accusing public figures of communists. For many, it's a reminder that history can repeat itself, and that for the fight for free expression is far from over. Thank you for joining me. I'm Michaela Dixon. Back to you, Cameron, at the desk.
Thanks, Michaela. And now to finish up the show, we have our sports anchor, Houston Hall, to give you all the information on the game that you need. What you got, Houston?
Thanks, Cameron. Up next with sports, the Cowboys were tested in another back-and-forth battle. UNT sold out DATCU Stadium for the first time ever, and the annual meeting of one of the biggest rivalries in college football took place over the weekend as well. So don't click away, because we'll be right back.
I use Flex to buy my favorite snacks. I use Flex to get me through my mornings.
I use Flex at my favorite campus restaurants. I love how Flex is a cashless payment method and can be used at all campus dining venues.
So, how do you use Flex?
Hey Alex, this guy on the internet says he wants to give me money.
That sounds suspicious.
What do you mean?
Typically, strangers who promise you money on the internet have their own best interest in mind. They often use bounced checks, which will disappear shortly after depositing, but not before they've asked for some money in return.
So he doesn't really want to spoil me?
No.
Well, then what should I do?
The best way to handle it is to block and report the suspicious message, or even consult local law enforcement if you've already fallen victim.
So I guess we aren't going to Key West for spring break?
No.
After a nice win against the Jets, the Cowboys' momentum slows with a crushing loss Sunday in Carolina against the Panthers. Similar to most of Dallas's games to this point in the season, this game was tight from start to finish. After a pair of passing touchdowns by Dak Prescott in the second quarter, Dallas would go into halftime with a 17-13 lead. However, Carolina had a breakout performance in the making from none other than former Cowboy Rico Dowdle. The Panthers would receive the second half kickoff, and Dowdle was able to cap off that drive with a 36-yard touchdown reception, grabbing the lead back for Carolina less than 2 minutes into the second half. Dowdle would continue the punishment on his old team throughout the entirety of the contest, and with the game tied with there were 6 minutes left on the clock, the Panthers were able to go on a 71-yard drive down the field to set up a game-winning field goal by Ryan Fitzgerald. Rico Dowdle finished his dominant performance with 183 yards on the ground, as well as 56 receiving yards and a touchdown. Dallas will have to regroup quickly as they prepare to take on their divisional rival, Washington, on Sunday, October 19th. For the first time all season, the Mean Green football fans feel the disappointment of a loss. Friday night, the 24th ranked Bulls of South Florida came to Denton for the Mean Green's toughest test yet. UNT was up to the task for the first half. After a fumble by USF's Byron Brown, North Texas was able to draw first blood with a touchdown run by Drew Mestemaker. After both teams traded a couple of scores, UNT forced the Bulls to punt at the end of the second quarter with a chance to stretch the lead to 2 scores. But this is when disaster would strike for the Mean Green, as punt returner Miles Coleman muffed the punt and the Bulls recovered and were able to tie the game at 21 points apiece going into halftime. Due to a turnover on both of UNT's first 2 drives to open up the second half, South Florida was able to score 3 touchdowns in the first 3.5 minutes of the third quarter, giving them a 42-21 lead. The Mean Green fought back but ultimately would never recover. UNT would lose for the first time this season by a score of 63-36. The Mean Green will now prepare for their homecoming matchup against their arch rivals, the Roadrunners of UTSA. Staying on the college football front, the Red River shootout between Texas and Oklahoma also took place over the weekend. Per usual, it was full of surprises. With the lackluster play of the Longhorns' Arch Manning and the uncertainty surrounding the Oklahoma's John Mateer would even play, there were a lot of questions going into this game. It was a defensive masterclass in the first half as both teams failed to find the end zone, and it was the 6th-ranked Sooners with the 6-3 lead at halftime. However, Texas would get the ball first in the third quarter, and upon the back of their junior running back, Travion Wisner, the Horns went on a 75-yard drive that was capped off by a 12-yard touchdown pass from Manning to his wide receiver DeAndre Moore Jr. This would give the Horns their first lead of the game and one they would never give up. The UT defense continued domination, finishing with 3 interceptions as a team off of Mateer, and then with just under 10 minutes to play, the Longhorns punt returner Ryan Niblett returned a punt 75 yards for a touchdown, stretching their lead to 14. By the time the final whistle was blown, Texas had put up 23 points to Oklahoma's 6. And for the third time in 4 years, the Golden Hat will remain in Austin. That's all we have for sports today, folks. Now back over to Cameron at the desk.
Thanks so much, Houston. Even with that Red River win, I'm still feeling that disappointment for UNT. I will for sure be at the homecoming game cheering them on. Thank you guys so much for watching NTTV News at Noon. Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.